So the older I get, ladies and gentlemen, the more I'm realizing that if you want to get ahead in this life, or if you want to live the life you want to live, you got to break the rules. Okay? I made like the same video, 30-minute walk in that direction in this same area like 5 years ago. Actually, it might have been like 6 years ago. But the past 6 years have only served to reinforce my belief in this truth. Okay? Our whole life, from like day one, since we take our first breath, people are like imposing rules upon us. Now, these rules are all made up, okay? All you really got to do in life is get from womb to tomb. Like there's nothing you have to do other than things that you personally decide you think you should do. Other than that, there's nothing you have to do. But since day one, the people around us and society, they impose these rules upon us, and they say, hey, someone from where you're from, someone who the color that you are, someone who's the gender that you are, someone with your economic background, someone who's the religion that you are, should live your life like this. In order for you to be successful, you need to achieve these metrics. And you know, when you're young and throughout your whole life, basically, but especially when you're young, you just soak all this up because like it's coming from the people you trust. It's coming from the television. It's coming from the social media you look at. It's coming from people that seem to be experts. They're older than you. They must know. Not to mention all your friends are getting the same indoctrination. So they're sharing it. You're sharing it with each other. They're saying the same thing. So you just grow up believing there are certain rules in life that can't be broken. Now, real quick, I want to say I'm talking about rules, folks, not laws. You know, laws are put in place to keep us safe. Don't break the law. You'll end up down there at county. You don't want to be down there. There's some people down there that will break you. Okay, so we're talking about rules, not laws. So we grow up believing that you have to follow these rules. You have to like live your life a certain way. And this would be fine if these rules actually led to each one of us having the life we want. But it doesn't. If you don't believe me, look at the people who do everything they're supposed to in your life. The people who follow the rule book exactly, do what they're told. Are they the happiest people you know? Are they the people always laughing, joking, having a good time? Then look at like your eccentric aunt, or look at the people who kind of like go off and do their own thing. They typically seem happier. They may not have that successful life that everyone's told you needed, but they seem happier. They're going their own way, doing what they want to do, and they really don't care about this other stuff, you know? And that's the life I feel like we all should be living, is one that is uniquely me, uniquely you. And you don't have to worry about all the trappings of success or meeting all these metrics over here that don't mean anything to you. Why? Because if it doesn't mean anything to you, it doesn't mean anything to you. And that's where the problem is, that a lot of these rules are set up, to like enrich the rule makers. The people who came up with these rules came up with them decades ago in a totally different time. But they came up with them because like it helps them out. It enriches them. It allows them to have the life they want. But it doesn't do anything for us if it doesn't do anything for us. And that's why you see even people who have followed the rules and have the life that they set out to have sometimes sit around all day like, what's the purpose of life? What's the meaning of life? Why am I here? It's because the life they're living isn't fulfilling to them because they're following the wrong rule book. Like, you got to break some of these rules. Okay? All this stuff that they tell you has to be done, it doesn't. All you really have to do is find a way to survive and like eat and find a place to sleep and like pay your little bills. Speaking of bills, you don't have to have all the bills they tell you have to have. One of the biggest ways they enslave us in today's society is bills. And a lot of these bills come from the fact that like everybody around you has them, you know? Everybody has a house. Everybody has 2 cars. Everybody has this. Everybody has that. You may not want that. If you do want that, cool. If that's rules in your rule book, if you're like, hey, I've always wanted to be a homeowner, cool, get your house. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want all these bills that everyone else has. You don't have to have them. You can have as few bills as you want. There's no rule. You know what I mean? It's not a law. You don't have to go out there and run up tens of thousands of dollars worth of credit card debt just to have certain things, just to wear certain clothes. No, you don't have to. Just to try to impress people, just to show people that you've made it. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. You can sit down and write up your own rule book. These are the things that I feel like I need to do. These are the things I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. And I really love giving this message to young people, people in their teens, in their 20s, because if you realize this young, you'll spend the whole rest of your life doing what you want to do. The problem with those of us who are older, I was like 35 when I kind of started on this journey of like, I'm just going to live my life the way I want to. It takes a while sometimes to get rid of a lot of the stuff you've already incorporated into your life. It's possible. You can start at 65, whatever. It's possible. But the sooner you realize the rules are made up, and they're made up to enrich other people. And here's the thing too. This is really gonna get y'all. The people who made these rules up, they don't follow them either. They came up with these rules about how you need to live, what you need to own, and how you need to act. They don't follow them either. They don't follow them. And then they'll go out and like glorify the fact that like, oh, this business tycoon or this business magnate or this person is such a success because they didn't follow the rules. But they want you to follow them. They will glorify, oh, this person's a rule breaker, a risk taker. That's how they got to be where they're at. But if you try to do that, it's wrong. Like, no, that person's special. They can do that. She can do that. You can't do that. You got to live your life this way. You have to follow this pattern over here because you're just a regular person. And we fall for it. We fall for it. The main reason we don't go out and do what we want in this life is because we feel like we can't. If all of us woke up tomorrow with just this injection of self-confidence and was like, I can do whatever I want, all of us would do it. But we don't have that confidence because it's been like bred out of us. If you don't believe me, think back to when you was a kid, you thought you could do anything. Back when you was a kid, you had more confidence than programming. The older you get, the more programming you get. And now most of us have more programming than confidence. But the only way to get that confidence back, and I know this from personal experience, is to start doing whatever you want. And I know you're like, but Tim, I got to pay the bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. You're smart enough over time to figure out a way to do the things you need to do to survive and still enjoy your life. Trust me, you're smart enough. The world tells us we're not. If you don't follow our rule book, you'll never do it. You're not smart enough. Those people aren't smarter than you. They just had people in their life that told them you can do whatever you want. One of the big things that like wealthy people who grew up wealthy, one of the big advantages they have is because they've grown up believing that like they were going to be up here in the world. They were taught, hey, the other people follow these rules. We don't have to. Boom, boom, boom. Now they also have connections and other stuff like that. But one of the biggest things is they just have that unshakable belief that they're going to be somebody. And you can't talk them out of it. I'm trying to say we all can cultivate that belief. We may not have been, raised up. Society may not have told us that from the beginning, but I think we all can cultivate that. And how you do that is by slowly but surely doing things that are a little further out of your comfort zone that maybe you don't think you can do. But as you accomplish one task, you say, you accomplish another one. You do another one. Before you know it, you start to believe like, bro, I can do anything. Sis, I can do anything I want to. And you start just leaving those rules behind. And they like weigh on us and this baggage, this belief that like, I have to do this, I can't do that. As you like go with that, you just get more free. You just get freer and you really just start to see like it's all made up. None of it's real. Do whatever you want. Take some risk. Enjoy yourself. So what if people don't like it? The people who are like still following the rules are going to try to get you back on the rule follower bus. Hey, get back here. You can't do that. That's wrong. They're not going to get it. And they don't have to get it. It's not their vision. It's your vision. It's not their life. It's your life. They don't have to get it. They won't get it. They're going to talk about you. They're going to laugh at you until, well, they probably always going to talk about you. But they're going to stop laughing when they start to see the moves you're making, the fulfillment you're getting out of life. When they're having those conversations about what's the meaning of life? Why am I here? You're going to be out doing stuff. You ain't going to have time for that. You ain't going to have time for that. You're not going to know what to say. You're going to be like, you'll start saying very vague stuff like the meaning of life is just live because it's true. They're not going to get it. But some of them hopefully will follow your example. But like these rules, all this stuff that's put in place is just like keep you basically being like a zombie wage slave. To keep you in line, being like a zombie wage slave who basically spends your whole life working, blowing money. getting into debt, repeat, because that's really what all the rules do, is just to hold you in place. So you'll basically just spend your whole life work, buy, debt, die. If you break out of that, and it's not saying you don't work, it's not saying you don't buy stuff, it's not saying you can't have a credit card or, go into debt sometimes to buy important purchases, but that shouldn't be what your life is all about. The rules want you to think that's what your life is all about. That can just be a part of your life. Work can be a part of your life. Getting a job you love makes it an enjoyable part of your life. Buying things you really want, or buying things that pertain to like your hobbies, or, buying your needs and stopping it there, makes it an enjoyable part of your life. If you go into a little bit of debt to like buy a car because you're going to use that car to do the things you love to do, it's enjoyable then. But the rules try to just make you believe there's one way to do it. And there's how many billion people on this planet? There's that many billion ways to do it. That's my video for today, folks. Take time and ask yourself, am I doing this because the rules say I need to do it? Other people have told me I need to do this, and I think this is the only way it can be done? Or am I doing it because I genuinely want to do it? Am I doing it because I figured out this is the way I want to do it? Am I doing this because it's genuinely bringing me joy and happiness? And no matter what stage you are in your life, I feel like we all can start to live our life over here where it's free and wide open, and every day is an opportunity, as opposed to over here where you're following the rules, very closed-minded, and every day is just like redundant. Groundhog Day, doing the same thing because that's what everybody else is doing. I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comment box. Thank y'all so much. I get so many good comments, gives me great ideas for further videos. I also just love to hear what y'all have to say. Please let me know your thoughts on this. What are some of the rules you believe that society really tries to impose upon us? What are some of the rules you're breaking? What are some of the rules you plan on breaking? Yeah, let's have a discussion. Thank y'all so much for watching. Love each and every one of y'all. Talk to you soon.